All right, and we are back. This time we are going to watch Global Breakout versus Depth. Global Breakout currently undefeated 3-0 and just stomped Gnomes in spectacular fashion. So I guess some of y'all wanted to see that again. Y'all like the bloodbath. It's like the Roman Colosseum in here.
Going into this last game, it is like he said, going to be global breakout in depth. And global breakout today has had a phenomenal performance. With I think it was what 2 7-0 victories. They had 7-0 versus Gnome, and then again, global breakout had a 7-0 against Rise. Let's see if they can go 3-0 with the 7-0s today against depth.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Depth. Playing a pretty standard roster for them. I'm looking forward to it. Baker, kind of the one to keep an eye on for sure. I'm looking forward to this
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, definitely coming into this. I mean, Depths are 2-0-1. They were our first game that we watched today with Depths TBD with that full out tie. But looking down the roster after that game, we haven't seen them since. But until this game, they went 7-4 against Yakuza, and then 7-5 against Rise. So coming in this game, I mean, it's going to be a good bloodbath. Global Breakouts feeling themselves. Um, uh, they're just popping off in ways unimaginable at this point, Bacon.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be scary for depth. This is they are definitely getting. They've moved up. They had a tie for their first game, but they've definitely been playing well. And depth now trying to prove that they belong here, going up against Global Breakout here. So
Yeah, I'm hoping that they keep the energy that we saw in that first game. Again, it was the first game of the day in the first couple rounds, so there was a little bit of hiccups along the line against Depth versus TBD. But coming into this, let's see what they end up coming up with.
oh man, and do we have an exciting map to get it started off?
Oh,
Kildome, Havoc Praetorian, really fun map. This is one of the few maps where we do get a green door directly into observation. OBS is such a strong objective, particularly just because of all the information it gives you with those cameras. But we know that that's boring. Um, Going to be interesting to see Castle. Very easy to hold here, but also intimidating because the angle on that bomb, if the attackers choose to kind of defuse on that northeastern side, kind of just barely getting it, and long arm in that, it's very hard. If dare I say, nigh impossible to get a angle on that. So you have to be very careful of that castle angle. Looks like depth though here on that attack going to want to split. Going to go through that southern jungle door, get a lot of early access to jungle and try and sweep that out. Maybe try and just take castle of take castle off them and initially getting that button in that southern jungle.
yeah, and I couldn't have said it better myself. Coming into this, like you said, observation, one of the only with Havoc this way is the only green door into observation, which is really strong. You do have that visual, and you do take that little bit of advantage not having to drop a wall charge or any explosives on top of observation. But just kind of looking at it, I'm kind of curious to see the route that they are going to take here.
100%. Now we're getting to the start of the round. We see GB, of course, feeling themselves. We see the Ingmar, Double Gruber, Akazo back on that mop, always doing great with it.
Yeah, if we can see another performing from Akuza on that, we're in for a show.
Yeah, 100%. We're getting into the start here. Depth smoking the green door, but they're playing that very close. Argo here. Oh, Argo
Oh,
gets it.
pushes
Actually,
out.
the tub isn't broken. You're just bad, merchant. Oh my god.
He guns one out there with that shotgun is able to pick it out, and it looks like they are going to drop the wall charge down on the south side of jungle. It looks like they may play this a little bit slower now. Gravy's going to start making his way up onto observation, but Argo just holding it still with that shotgun, playing the corner, not really knowing what Gravy's going to do here. Gravy's making that noise, doing those quick movements. They are going to smoke out jungle. Baker's going to push up, but there are some shots coming out across the way from Observer Bridge by Explicit. No big kills are gonna come
Oh,
out, and
Argo.
Argo goes down, and Argo goes down. He goes in for the aggressive play there, kind of questionable, but I guess you have that time to play, but they only have a minute left to make a move here. They are in a 4v4 situation. If I was Argo, I would have played that a little bit slower. What about you, Bacon?
Well, I think Argo likes the aggression, and he wants to put on a show here, and that he sure did.
That he did, but there goes the pickoff, and they are able to get the trade off. Marbles is able to pick him off with that quick shot, and they are in a 3v3. Baker's pushing up, taking some shots from Colin. We've seen big things from him. There goes Gravy down on the top side of Observer by Explicit here. And a 3v2 into a 3v1. Baker goes down, and Marbles is going to be the last one left. The question is, will he go to save? Or will... There goes Colin going for the push out. Almost gets lasered down. Very close, actually.
Marvel's going back, picking up that clacker, saving that saber. But man, great round from Global Breakout there. And I gotta point it out, Explicit going with the AP, grabbing some extra magazines there, kicking that door out. Really, AP on defense is a lot of fun because it's almost like you have a silencer sometimes,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of attackers never really register that like a defender will pick that up. So they just hear the AP go and they're like, "Oh, that's obviously my buddy. What? I'm dead?" The playing mind games.
And it looks like that's what GB's all about. It's just playing those big brain mind games. So I'm very excited to see how they want to play the rest of these games.
Yeah, and I mean, I personally I wanted to see some new faces here on the stream, but people want the bloodbath. Global Breakout looking really just untakeable here. I know the one team I do really want to see them take on is the base department. I am biased though, uh, but depth
Obviously,
here
you're a little
looking.
biased to want to see that one.
Oh, extremely biased, extremely biased. I won't hide it. There are so many Twitch clips labeled unbiased casters of me just saying like, oh, I think this team will win. This is my team. It's hard. You want to back your friends, and the base department are my friends. But anyway, let's go by it. Global Breakout, undeniably fantastic team, and certainly one of the finest we have. Midnight Hawk here, depth going for tried and true wall charge through the storefront. They were able to save that clacker and saber, allowing them to do this.
No,
They
this is
are
the
going to be
arcade.
taking that. This is a arcade. You have that double DDR machine.
You
Beautiful.
know,
Love to see
I
it. Not
I was gonna
enough.
say, not enough for you?
You need more. I want at least five. But
If
I'll take the double machines. I'll take the
That's a
double
you can
machines.
play with someone now on these, like compared to
Exactly.
just playing the solo games. Now you can have a friend. You guys can go to the arcade together, pick up some Doritos and Mountain Dew, like we brought up in the first first
Yeah,
series, and
real
that
gamer fuel. Gamer
that
fuel.
real DDR fuel.
Mhm.
Without the Mountain Dew and Doritos, how do you expect to keep up your energy to play a good couple rounds of DDR?
Yeah, it's how it is, and I think that's the only reason that Depth here is gonna be taking that freezer to eventually get to that arcade.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, of course. Why else would they go freezer? I think arcade. Maybe they want to go get their steps in real quick.
Yeah. And so going for tried and true, get a frag out towards that freezer, knock out a lot of those shelves, but might be some wasted utility. Look at how Global Breakout is playing this. We do see Akazo coming out on that mop again. They're expecting that charge. I think Akazo probably going to get a pick off of this if I had to guess. Just, man has been nasty with those picks lately. Did you see Colin and Saichi there? Putting down some hate in that bathroom. Colin putting down that barb for Saichi to swing on. Love to see it.
Yeah, and I think definitely they are going to be taking some big pot shots through the storefront. They do have that sniper equipped. So anything could really happen here. I mean, Marbles, like that,
Ooh,
as I was about to say, Marbles is going to put in some work. I remember him putting in some work the last game we watched of him, and he's nothing short of that again. Gets the opening frag into Teller. And it looks like right now they are on the aggression, slowly making their way through storefront. Has to keep an eye out though for the bathroom side. Just like that,
Colin.
Colin is able to pick up that pick. But the damage is coming out from the backside of Argo here. Collins with a two-piece, explicit, and it looks like they just turn the tides very quickly. And there
Marbles
they
give
go.
Marbles gives his back to Colin there. Unfortunate. Um, you know, Global Breakout doing what they do best, and that's finding frags. Colin with another three-piece. Man just doesn't know when to quit.
I think they got the opening frag with the marble snipe. I think what they could have possibly done is rotated themselves a little bit quicker into one of the side rooms and rotate it around. But I mean, you don't think of those plays, or sometimes in the moment when you're up 1 kill, your adrenaline's pumping and you expect the best out of it. But Depth's right there, goes down 0-2, but that's not the end of the day. There's a handful of more rounds that they have to pick it back up from here.
Absolutely, but I mean, now we get to see that saber back on Global Breakout. Double snipers, I think, although they may not have picked that mop back up, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, Fang Banner here with this factory map. This is going to be a huge, huge map, not only in terms of our main factory with the walkways as being huge, but also not having that saber here and denying the possibility of that power, which I think would give a lot of flexibility here in office, um, is just unfortunate. Now, we've seen a map like this before, this walkway, dock, stairway into those office doors. We have seen that. I love this barb coming out from Global Breakout here because that's just, they have to cross that. And I think they might just be double barbing it. I'm not quite sure yet, but they're already calling out that push from global, no, pardon me, from depth. Depth's definitely going office. I had to think a little bit there.
Yeah, so
Global breakouts putting on such a show. I'm getting confused, man.
if you remember from the first game, this is the same layout that Depths and TBD had for they had Fang Banner.
Well,
You were
I think it was a little different actually. We might have had
oh, was
I
it a
think
little
server farm
different?
and boiler were switched, and also
Okay,
that map we had power in front of dock and not in office.
true.
That
Okay, yeah,
power
that's
in
right. For
office
that
makes
way. Yeah,
office a lot more viable. Also, you do have these servers here. We have that double barb. So then what's going to be very dangerous for depth here is pushing through those barbs if they choose not to frag it. Um, they're already going to be slow taking that angle. So
yeah.
it's going to be
Okay.
very, very rough for them. We do see them splitting towards green, but we have Argo there with that mop. Man, as we know, aggressive. He did that run out on Dome with the shotgun. Love to see what he does with the mop, though.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what he does with the mop here in Boiler Room. Looks like they may be going for a little bit of a split. Some going green side, some maybe trying to bait out Office, and that's going to be Marble over there on the Office side. But Baker over here, just kind of playing it slow. There goes, it looks like the Flashbang comes out over on Boiler side. Second flashbang down. Gravy and Baker looking for the opening pick, but there goes Argo with the mop. Misses the first initial shot, and it's a 2-on-3 over in Boiler side. If the boys over in the office can kind of hold down, and there goes the power. And here goes the aggression potentially coming out from Depths. Only one man in Boiler right now. It's Collins. They're just going to push up. Collins gets a pick, though, on a Daxi. Graver picks up Colin for the trade there. And
Gravy
we're on
and
a
Marble are low.
4-on-4. And Gravy and Marble, oh, it looks like they lost their duel over on the office side. Taking a few picks, but we're still on the 4-on-4 right now.
Remember, lights are out here, so Akazo is the only one with NVGs with that saber scope on the defender side. So now they're just playing those flares. Oh, Akazo!
Oh! And there it is. Akazo with a 2K. Will they get the 3K on Baker? Looks like Baker's just going to rotate himself around and not go in the sights of him. Is he going to peek him? He knows. He knows that he's sitting there. It looks like he's just going to rotate around here. Nothing really that he can do at that point. Pushes out, gets the pick here on Sachi and Akazo. Both go down from Baker.
Ooh.
Rotates around into a 2-on-1 now. They have to get something on that bomb, though. 17 seconds left. Argo here has somewhat of a visual, but probably isn't going to be able to push out.
He gets the kill with
Gets
the pistol.
First kill.
You have to defuse, Kaya. It's close, and you're gone.
Oh!
Argo. Oh
Mr.
man,
Clutch.
the clutch there, making Baker and Dia sit down. Dia had a huge 2K. They got those 3
Wow.
kills, but Argo, such a force.
Argo goes in with the pistols, baits out the initial defuse, and he did really good there. He didn't aggressively push in the way that I think any one of us would have pushed in, Bacon. He waited for it, methodically planning the time that he wanted to engage. Got the first pick off, realized that there was a little bit of time left on that bomb defuse. Only had 5 seconds left to make a decision, and at that point he went in for the kill. Beautiful play there.
Man, I don't know what to say. That was just disgusting from Argo. And as you know, we talked about that very aggressive push here out of observations before. It shows that, that was kind of calculated. You got a lot of damage there, but then he knows when to turn it up like that. He knows when to say, "Hey, I can do this. I'm Argo. I'm great." And then now he shows that he has his ear to the floor on that. He knows exactly what to do. And man, did he teach teach depth how not to play that defense, just ripping it through him. And now Global Breakout looking like they're going to do the same thing that Depth did, pulling a little bit of trolling like they did on Gnome, saying, "Hey, I like your plan, but I can do it better." They're already aware that the Barb's going to be out there. We do see a Daxi having that marked along with a Molly. Very great plays, but this jungle take, I love this jungle take. Lot of possibilities here. I do personally feel like they're probably wasting this Barb here in Pit. Um, Not a big fan, but you want that there on the off chance that they do go Pit, going for that power and everything. However,
Yeah, if they push through observation, they go super aggressively. I mean, yes, that bar
Could be placed probably somewhere else. But like you said, it's just, you hate to see it there, but you have to kind of put it there for the safety
uh,
precautions.
I understand, and very interesting. Not something we normally see. We do see Argo taking the shotgun here on Dome. Very rare. Now, what I'm expecting actually is to get that door shotgun open and have from this circle we see from Global Breakout here is actually someone either watching that door, or that might be where that frag's coming out. This is going to be very dangerous for depth here. I think we're seeing a 3-2. Akazo going down south with the Saber. He's been doing so much work.
Yeah, these games and these rounds just get better and better. And you would think as time goes on, these teams are going to start getting tired and they're going to start getting lethargic. But they're just keep coming out here with full-on aggression. And the same thing's happening right now. You have Explicit in the back line, just kind of doing the visuals for Argo here. You said it was unorthodox to pull out the shotgun here on attack, but that's why Explicit's back there. He's just getting the visuals so Argo can walk up. Like it looks like he's inching to go bang out a Daxi. So let's see kind of how Argo wants to play, if he plays it a little bit slower or if he just goes for the full-on momentum. And here they go. Here goes Argo. Gets knocked down by a Draxi, though. Doesn't get much value out of that shotgun. Molotov down, too. And Sachi trapped in there. Will they be able to catch him out? Pushes out hard. There goes Soxy down, but not before they pick out a Doxia. You have a Kazo on the back line with the sniper. And there goes Colin here, right in a 4-on-2. 3-on-2 situation, I apologize. Akazo, though, playing it slow and same with Explicit, but we've seen these two guys do some crazy things with Explicit picking up the kill, and now it's a 2-on-2. Anything can happen here with these two guys on the team. Now they got to play it. They have 40 seconds, and there goes Explicit. Nice pick off from Baker, putting them in a 2-on-1. Marble and Baker are going to be left here. Just
Marble's
playing
going
it
back
nice
into
and
that
slow.
window. He might just get in. He might get picked here. Oh,
Almost.
No. He
Puts
took a
him down
shot.
to
He's down to
half.
50.
Uh-oh. Akazo's in between both Marble and Baker, though. He's going to start faking the he's actually going to start the defuse. He's at 30%. They got to move out here momentarily. 50, 60?
Ooh.
Gets the pick on Akazo. Marble's on a 1-on-1. He's going to fully keep it.
Oh, man. What are you doing, Depth? Akazo just was handed that round. But that's exactly what I was talking about, though. Marbles is in that corner. Can't quite get a bead on Akazo because it's such a steep angle. You kind of have to jump shot. And I mean, man, Baker was forced out, and Akazo knew it. He knew he didn't hear any sound from Castle. He takes that shot on Baker, wins that fight, just defuses, forces Marbles to push him. And man, Marbles just, that's unfortunate.
I'm lost for words.
Yeah.
Akazo stuck the plant.
Simply better. I mean, that's the second 1v2 clutch that Global Breakout has had. And I mean, talk about Argo pulled that off there on defense, and then Akazo on the attack. Just what is going on?
It just looks like depth is broken right now. They just lost
2 rounds that should have been in the bag for them, especially right there. Akazo held the plant for personally what I think was a little bit too long, but he trusted himself. He knew that he had the angle on the angle on Marble, and he just had to win the one-on-one, and he did. He won the one-on-one and just knew that Marble couldn't really do much with the angle that he had.
Absolutely.
I think he knew Marble had a sniper on him, and there was nothing that really could have been done in that situation.
You know, the only thing I think that could have been different is having a molly on. Probably, I think Baker used a molly early on that door charge on the southern side.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I think if Marbles had actually had a molly there for that defuse, because the only thing you can really do there is try and push Akazo off of the safety of that bomb and rock, and so I think that's really all that could have happened. And that could have been a huge play with that one little piece of economy that just wasn't taken. I understand wanting to save it, though. That's your first map. You don't want to take too heavy on the mollies, particularly when you have a C-store like Midnight Hawk coming up. You want those mollies at your disposal because really, barbs are useful here, but also, in my opinion, the only thing more useful than barbs on a C-store are mollies because that's a guaranteed 10 seconds that they can't be going through somewhere. Either whether that's on bomb, and particularly when you're down to the wire like that, a 10-second difference on that bomb defuse makes all the difference in the world. Now we do see Gravy coming out with that auto shotty on that power weapon on Office, guarding that power. We do see a Daxi with that knack probably going to look to do some shredding on that green door. Marbles sitting in the stalls. Akazo going down south with a door charge just to open up a hole. Man,
It looks like they're really going through green door. There goes the arcade spray through the doors. And Akazo maybe blowing in through storefront, but he may be waiting for the opportune time, and it looks like that's the moment. Akazo's pulling up, inching his way up. There's no one in the vicinity, but there goes the first pickoff.
ooh,
Addicts, Gravy, picks up Explicit and Argo real quick, and Sachi goes in for Baker. Slow pushing through Freezer, and they rotate into the arcade to the DDR machine. Doesn't realize that they have no quarters to play it, and it looks like they're going to be rotating outside of storage. Sachi holding the backside of Freezer with Akazo with the sniper in the background of storefront. Not seeing anything in his sight. And Sachi is just kind of holding there. It's a 4-on-3 right now. Akazo not really pushing up too deep. And here goes the push into Freezer here. Let's see who's going to win this one. There goes Collins for the first pick. Doesn't realize the second man's there. And Collins goes down hard. 3-on-1. If I'm Akazo, I just try to save here. I don't try to do anything too dangerous. I'm up 4 rounds.
I mean, especially going to that next factory map. I mean, he's looking for some kills here for sure. Great use of his time. I mean, he could definitely make something happen here. I think more so he might be trying to recover that frag that's on Gravy because that is scary. Oh,
Yes.
he's pushing into Freezer here. He might be making the play. He
It's
goes,
Akazo
he gets the
for
kill.
the first kill. It's Akazo. I completely forgot. This man's gonna go crazy. He goes in for the defuse, gets 15%, hits 20, now to 30. No one's really stopping him here. He's at 40%.
Oh, he's getting run out on, and he's gone.
Marbles does not let what happened last round happen again, and goes a little bit aggressive and is able to win the round.
Honestly,
Akazo-
though, big ups to Marbles though, because he sat in that bathroom for 2 minutes, just sitting there waiting for the right time. Akazo was like, okay, I don't know where Marbles is, but he can't be bathroom. He would have ran out by now. And then he gets ran out on from bathroom. Unfortunate.
The scariest part is Akazo actually got that to 50%. So it just shows, like, he went into that in a 1-on-3 and was able to get a decent amount off. If I'm Depths, yeah, I got the victory in the round, but I'm still a little broken. The fact that Akazo thought he was able to do that just kind of shows how aggressive we're playing. I think if I'm Depths, I come into this next round and I come in with a fresh head and fresh thoughts, and I try to do everything I can to make sure that they know they can't do that going into these next final rounds here.
Either way, you know, he gave him the saber. That's fine. It's not fine, but beyond that, it's just kind of what's difficult about that position is Akazo feels like he can win it, and that's what's important. Because do you sit out and wait the minute and just be like, you know what, I'm going to keep saber, or do you go into a map like Fang Banner here where you realize, you know what, maybe I really don't need the saber on this. I can maybe win this. You know, you take it from a 3v1 to a 3v2, or from a 3v1 to a 1v2, pardon me. Now, let's talk about this bar placement on the southern side of Fang here. The one in office, perfect. This one right here from Adaxi, I like because what it does do is it prevents that push because while they're really expecting one of two things here. They're expecting either an office or a dock push. We're seeing the dock push. This barb right here, barb on stairs is hard because there's no actual geometry to have the barb tilt. So it's just
Yeah.
straight. So you actually only get half of your slowing done with that barb. So you kind of have to decide if you want that, where you want that to happen. If you want that to be on top or at bottom. Looking
Yeah.
like they're placing it more towards the bottom, I like that because that's really to slow them in your angles from boiler, to prevent them to getting onto these high angles where you have a lot of that real boiler sort of silo protection on these walkways. I like this. We are going to see, I think, the frag come out here on a Daxi that could be devastating against GB here if that gets thrown on them during their push. Adaxi definitely looking at it. He's got it cocked and ready for that push, and that could just basically take out the entirety of GB in one fail swoop. Ooh,
It looks like
Marbles.
Marbles patches them out almost, and he kind of
Early
knows
picks,
now.
no damage though. No damage.
Yeah, no damage, but early information. That information is very vital. I think they knew what the plan was from GB. They kind of figured they were going to go to docks or office because they did set up, like you said, those barbed wires,
there
and
goes
there
that.
goes the explosion. And they just look like they're just going to play aggressive here.
Didn't
But
get any kills.
Daxis
Oh, but there we
and
go.
Gravy just popping off on this side right now, not allowing them to just come in and take over this map. And this may be a clean sweep.
No, not quite. Colin gets a
Collins
Daxi.
able to get one on a Daxi, but Collins in the 1v4. I mean, these guys are crazy, and they have made some amazing plays throughout the tournament so far tonight. But I don't know what Collins is going to be able to do in this 1-on-4 situation right now.
Just baiting him out. He's jiggle peeking it really hard. Dia's just pieing him though.
I mean, this may be his best bet if he can get them in 1v1 situations. Maybe
Yeah.
this is the play here for Collins.
Oh, there we go. Dia
And
finally
there
gets
goes
him.
Dia able to pick it off. And like I said, I think Depps finally is coming into the game knowing that the fact that GB just came in rounds 1-4 and just kind of fully dominated them. I think Depps came in and after last round realizing that they're not afraid of us. We have to give them a reason to be afraid of us moving into these final rounds here.
For sure. And 2-4 for a half is not a bad scoreline when you're considering who it is. When you're considering
Of
you've
course,
won,
of
you've
course.
taken 2 rounds on Global Breakout here. You have your fresh maps now. You have so much time now. If you're Depth, you can really make something happen here as we're getting into this next Kill House map. Again, we're seeing a lot of maps kind of replay. We're seeing Archer Retribution, which we saw in the Gnomes versus Nakudama game. Going beyond that, though, Depth really has a chance to bring this all back. Depth is definitely the underdog, but with that underdog position, they have a lot of leeway behind it. They are not, this is not sort of an Airbud movie. They are definitely contenders here, but the question is, how can they exploit Global Breakout here? They already know the plan. Adaxi calls out the plan immediately. Definitely. I mean, this is really the best execution on this is to go that office red door into that, maybe take pillbox. They might actually be doing that office red door late with the split push into reception. We talked about the last time we saw this map, you wanting to see someone go kitchen, make a sandwich, but now you've eaten. Maybe that's out of your head. But beyond that, keeping an eye on that door for the flank around might not be so common though. They might not want to push that just because of that barb there in that kitchen's very, very dangerous. Not only for the attackers who may want to push through that, but also more importantly the defense. We do see the nade already called out on Brickhouse, and this seems like an open and shut case to me. I think this is a Global Breakout round all the way. But Gravy with that auto shot, he has proven to be very scary in the past.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak too soon.
Going into this, I mean, yes, Depth has a round or two to play with before it goes. They have a round before it goes into the tie. But I think going into these next couple rounds, they can't lose any round. They have the momentum of a 2-round back-to-back victory. I think they have to go into this and somehow pull it out, and then just continue winning if they want to have a shot at coming out on top for this game. But like you said, I think it is a little unorthodox for them to go through kitchen here, especially since that barbed wire is down. But that may be what Argo is thinking with that shotgun. Explicit in the background, looking like he wants to do some damage, but they did blow into office like you said they would. That is the typical play, and maybe they go into pillbox. I'm sorry, and try to take that over and take them out and get some of that positional advantage in them.
Yeah, Explicit here, definitely playing with them a little bit, still sticking around that kitchen door.
With Explicit doing this, he's actually pulling the aggro off of them as they push into pillbox right now, and that gives them the opening to get the opening frag. Collins get the opening frag on Dio, and it looks like they're going to be taking over pillbox here, which is really good for them in this situation. You have Baker, who's kind of sandwiched in kitchen right now, with Argo picking up the kill on Adoxy. Marble and Gravy are kind of stuck in that back room, and there goes Baker down in the kitchen. And
Listen, might be pushing through this kitchen now, knowing that it's clear. Oh man, they're through. Gravy with
a three-piece! Oh man, you were saying how good Gravy can be with that shotgun.
From Argo, though. Stopped it.
Was the opportunity for Gravy to make the play of his life. Coming out, got the 3K, but sadly it just wasn't enough. Argo was able to finish him off.
I mean, that's a story as old as time itself with this game. What's better, an auto shotty or a DL12? In my experience, generally it's the DL because it's just a one pump and you're done. The auto shotty cannot one shot you. You have to get multiple shots off, and that's exactly what happened there. Argo was not low enough to where Gravy could just get a 1-2 on him. He needed at least a third burst there, and by that time, Argo had already one pumped him, and it was over. It was done.
I think at that point, Gravy was out of ammo. I mean, thinking about how many shots that he kind of sprayed out there in those initial 3K. Like you said, he probably needed three shots to finish him off. So even if he had 1 or 2 shots, it probably wouldn't have been enough to get the job done.
For sure, but either way, very, very solid hero play there from Gravy. Just didn't unfortunately play out. Now,
if you're Depths, how are you playing it? You have to win the rest of these matches.
Yeah,
victory.
Depth is really good at sort of that full throttle control. Like I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Depth really has a sort of mid game where they're like, okay, we're chugging along, we're fine. They're either full on aggression or I'm just gonna sit here and wait for you to come to me. There's no in between with Depth. In my experience.
I got you.
Yeah, and so coming from that, now we're going the Thundering Checkmate, and that's certainly what Global Breakout's looking to do here. Thunder Depth here into checkmate position. So interesting map we haven't seen before. Very open jungle. I like the fact that Global Breakout here is looking at that. Might possibly be looking at power. I doubt it, but I think really what they're doing is it's much easier to take jungle than it is obs, and I understand that might be counterintuitive because you're like, oh, obs is so much more condensed. You can really just flash out of that versus these longer angles. But if you're Global Breakout, if you're like one of the best teams, this is actually a lot easier to take for you, because also what it does is it prevents the number of angles that you have to watch on your execution out here into pit. So you can take this angle pretty steep. That's one eliminated versus having to take 2 of these at once. Basically, you just have one person here who isn't even exposed to obs, and then you swing out on obs, take that fight, and it's done. You take those angles one at a time. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
So it's a really smart take when you think about it in that sense. But they're going to have to fight through a lot here. Marbles with the mop early. They might not be going castle, but Marbles might have to try and catch some of Global Breakout off the jungle push since he's in that castle position.
Yeah, and honestly, I do think that your thoughts behind them pushing into pit, if that's the route they wanted to go, just to have it's just a little bit better to have that one lane. It's less angles you have to watch. Even though this team is really good, the less angles someone has to watch. But right in there, Gravy gets the first initial pick on Explicit, but does get traded out here, and Argo gets the pick on Baker pretty early on, and we're already in a 4v3, only about 10-15 seconds into the round here.
Oh, Akazo gets Marbles
what a
on the
snipe.
pixel. Power goes out.
Snipe. I expected nothing less. Power does go out here, but they're just going to start moving together. There goes the Molotov. Molotov is able to pick off Argo, it looks like here. They are in a 3v2. Collins is about half HP. with Adaxi and Dio both at full. So it's basically it's a 2-on-2. Let's see where Collins is going to position himself here. If he goes too deep up, though, it may come back to bite him on the opposite side of this door. The question is, do they know? Collins is just taking pot shots. Smoke gets dropped. Adaxis is going to rotate over to the other side of Pit. Akazo is trying to figure out what's going on here with the bomb being onside Pit. Now, if I'm Akazo, I try to go from the other angle to get the extra pick off. But here goes Sachi here.
Takes him a while to find it, actually, but he does find him.
Into a 2-on-1. And the question is, will it be put 6-2 here? And it looks like it's going to be, what a pickoff from Sachi. Sachi gets a 2K that round coming out.
Yeah, and really solid stuff. But I don't think Daya made the right play. I think Daya there, they were out of flashes, which is hard to know as a defender, I know, but I feel like, you know, we have perfect 20/20 vision when it comes to looking at this game. I feel like if he played behind Pit and just stayed there behind the bomb, pardon me, not in Pit, behind the bomb, that would have been better. Playing that head glitch, granted, it probably would have seen it coming, but playing those angles closer instead of trying to swing long on a Saber is never the fight you want to take, particularly if you have a Gruber.
You know, sometimes, like you said, it was probably the obvious play for him to make in that situation, and rotating around wasn't. But sometimes the most obvious plays and the easiest things are the correct answers. Overthinking situations like that, everyone does. I do, and I know you probably do also. When you're put in that 1v2 situation, you're almost at game point. You just got checkmate. You just got checked, and the checkmate's about to come out here. You don't really think about it, but like I said, sometimes the most obvious play is the correct one coming into it.
Absolutely. Now, going beyond that, depth really needs to make something happen here because, as we all know, 7-2 is still a certified stomp. Scientifically, it's still getting stomped. Now, Pegasus Timber, kind of a very traditional storefront. Like this is old storefront. This is a season 2, season 3 of DPL storefront. Like OG stuff right here.
I'm a big fan of this storefront. Like you said, it is an OG style of storefront. In it's kind of obvious. You can tell it's you would be surprised for how condensed the map is.
It is somewhat open, if that makes sense. The whole storefront, there's only one main shelf right in the center. I know a lot of the times you can just blow through the back end of storefront on the south side of it, or directly south of storefront. So, I mean, there's a lot of options you can do, and it looks like that's the play that GB is going to make blowing
you
in.
You get a classic map. What do you do but a classic strat?
Of course.
What do you do on, everyone say it with me, what do you do on C-Store? You wall charge storefront, particularly with the storefront bomb. Now, there are a lot of really interesting ways to protect bomb here, particularly with that freezer hold. I think that's the number one way to hold this bomb, particularly since you know they're going storefront. But GB is wanting to put depth in the dirt here by taking that freezer from them after they take power. So as we see, they're charging close here. They're going to go in. They're going to just absolutely zoom into arcade here and split. And I think Baker and Gravy are really the only two who can stop anything, but I think Baker might get flashed almost immediately.
Yeah, I think here in this situation, after they insta-charge, like you said, it looks like they are going to go right for the power. Gravy may actually get picked off here in that rotations over inside the arcade. I'm curious if they will actually get picked at all. No, they freely make their way into arcade and get the first pick off on Dio. Sachi's able to get that pick off, and it looks like they're rushing right to the bomb. Already started, already at 20%.
Oh, it's gone.
I don't know if it matters at this point. They're at 50% on the defuse. Has to fall off on it. And it and there is the round, and there is the game. Wow.
Well,
y'all asked for it. The stomp.
Global Breakout won. Yeah, that's it. You know, that was dirty. They did depth dirty.
That's the bloodbath.
I shouldn't say they did depth dirty. That was a very clean game from Global Breakout, and they deserved that win. Depth definitely needs to take a step back, reevaluate some things for sure. But man, that's closer than most other teams have come today. Remember, they got Global Breakout here had 2 7-0s back to back, and then a 7-2. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, looking at GB coming into this, they got a 7-4. Genesis actually is the only team that gave them a run for their money. looking at today's tournament, it looks like with taking 4 rounds off of them.
Hmm.
Other than that, you had GB that just went 7-2. And then you had them go 7-0 back-to-back games, 7-0 against Rise and then 7-0 against Gnomes. Uh, it- GB just came in and showed us again why they are probably the best team coming in to these tournaments.
100%. But anyway, we are done for the day. That is the end of the Swiss. We'll know basically who's qualified tomorrow. We run tiebreakers in, I believe, kind of the morning, afternoon. And then
Yes.
we see the first game of the Open. So stick around, tune in tomorrow. It's been a great day of due process. I am Zombie Bacon. I have been here with Carlos, and we are going to go ahead and send it to the end of the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to keep checking in on your favorite teams as they go into actually duking it out in the major. We're going to see a lot of high level due process coming up the next week or so.
Of course, I'm so excited, Zombie, to keep up with this high level due process, like you said, coming into the upcoming weeks and with the finals. And other than that, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Again, I'm Carlos, and that's Zombie. And if Less Zombie has anything else, you guys have an amazing rest of your day.